Welcome to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Real, taking time out of your day to come watch this episode. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe for me. I'd really appreciate that as well. That's the best way you can support this channel and help me grow my content and grow this channel to where I'd like it to be. Everybody hit the like button for me on the way in on this video today. That also helps promote this video more in the algorithms, helps grow this channel more as well. Please share this content. I would really appreciate that. My guests would as well. If you would please share this episode with someone you know that maybe is interested in the topic we're talking about today. Please leave a comment below as well. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback. You can interact with myself and the guest on the panel and the live chat as well. Whatever we're talking about, just leave a comment there in the live chat. Pop in and say hello. We'll put it on the screen for you. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to the show. Welcome back to The Real with Joseph Labman. I have Joseph Labman. Hope you guys having a happy Sunday to you guys. Hope you're doing better after watching the game today. Welcome into The Real. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, and share. I really appreciate that. And yeah, we'll just get right to it. I expect a lot of this year, unfortunately, the way things are right now, and I'm not surprised by today's result. But in case you missed it, the Browns lost again today. Start the season 0-2. They lost to the Baltimore Ravens 41-17. And you can see right there, it says Browns get embarrassed. And man, it was just I didn't pick the Browns to win, obviously, this game. Last week, my prediction was 38-13. So I kind of was on par with my prediction, but still just to watch this again every Sunday and just how they lose and just it's unfortunate, for fans, just for people, it's just terrible. It's just a terrible product. It's just terrible to watch. It's just terrible football. It's not good. And I just laugh every time I see some of these people on the internet, people want to call them Browns apologists, wherever they are, that just sit up there and make every excuse for this regime, make every excuse for everything that goes wrong. And, it's not that big of a deal. And anybody who says something has an agenda and they're out for the Browns and blah, 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 blah. And then you go out there and you watch the game on Sunday and they get absolutely boat raced every week. So, I mean, what do you expect? I mean, maybe not every week to get boat raced, but they lose every week. But this week they got boat raced. I mean, 41-17. And, what was unfortunate about this game, too, when I watched it in the first half, especially in the first, I watched all the way up until once the Ravens went up 27-10, I left. I'm not wasting my time anymore. But I did catch Dylan Gabriel's snaps on the end of the game, though, in the car. So I've turned that on my phone. I'll get to that in a minute. But, what's unfortunate is like the Browns defense kept them in the game for as long as they could against an offense like the Ravens. When you have Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers and all those guys, eventually Derrick Henry, they're going to get going. And, what was unfortunate was just the defense fought so hard. Mason Graham, the rookie, played so well. Myles Garrett got hot at one point. They were doing everything right. And the offense, again, like last week, had every opportunity to go down and put a touchdown on the board and just build some momentum on the game and swing the momentum of the game. And it's like the offense just constantly was in third and long, tackle for loss on first and second down. You know what I mean? It's just every drive was so predictable. And I when I watch this offense now, it's just very generic. Everything's a stick route. Everything's a long developing route. The running plays take too long to develop. I don't know if a lot of that's Flacco. He's so old. He love Joe Flacco, respect him, but man, he looks very old right now. You try booting him out of the pocket, it's an absolute it's never going to happen because he just can't see but he's just too slow. Get it on the perimeter. You can't run a lot of bootlegs with him anymore, which is a lot part of this offense. And we're supposed to be going back to Stefanski's offense. I've seen some flashes of it, but a lot of what I've seen is kind of what I saw last year in some ways. Just very generic. The Browns' running game has been very inconsistent since Bill Callahan left, and they never really recovered from that. And when I watch these last two games, all I keep thinking in the back of my head was the Browns have never really recovered from those firings of Alex Van Pelt and Bill Callahan. They've never and Stump Mitchell. They never recovered from that. We fired that whole offensive staff who was here in 2020. We had that great run to go early to the playoffs, and in 2023 went to the playoffs again. We fired that staff. After that, having 4 different quarterbacks that year, 4th string left tackle, and you still made the playoffs, and we fired him. And we've never really recovered since. And the offense since then has been absolutely abysmal. I mean, last year they didn't have a rusher, a running back go for over 100 yards in a single game. This year, I mean, how many times did they? I think they scored over 20 points last year twice, two or three times. This year, haven't scored over 20 points yet. So it's like we're on track, just like last year. They've never recovered since those fires. And I thought about that because shout out to my man, Ro Goldstein, who I ran into, host of the Stump Talk podcast, who I ran into at the game Friday night. Shout out to Ro, very nice guy. And he's watched our show. We're going to do some stuff with them down the road here in the future, maybe get Stump on. So stay tuned for that. They've never recovered from that. And when I watch that offense, it's very vanilla, very generic. The situational play calling, like just the awareness, like, hey, when Quinshon Judkins is getting almost 5-6 yards a pop at one point, maybe just keep running the ball if it works. But no, we like to let's roll Flacco out of the pocket and try to throw it downfield to our receivers who are very inconsistent, a lot of them unproven, and a lot of them kind of slow. I mean, we said this last year, and it's the same thing. A lot of these receivers really just on both sides of the ball, the perimeter on both sides. I said this very slow. We don't have the speed to keep up with some of these other teams. The Baltimore's a lot more athletic than us, a lot more just faster, and just overall just better coached. Obviously, I mean with John Harbaugh, they're just much better coached. And Kevin Stefanski did not do a good job today, in my opinion. His team was not really prepared offensively. Defensively, they came to play. Shorts had that unit coming to play, but offensively, they didn't look like they really learned from anything last week. I mean, I get last week they lost on the field goals and stuff, but just kind of bland still. Yeah, I mean, last week in that game even, I thought maybe they're in that third quarter, all the opportunities they had to go down the field and put the game away at one point, or get up 2 scores. They didn't do that last week. This week, same thing. You had a chance to go down and make it a game or tie the game or maybe who knows. I mean, but you just get nothing out of it. It's just 3 and out, 3 and out, and 3 and out. And I don't know. I don't know what my thing right now is if I'm Joe Flacco to me, I'm done. I can't. You could pull Joe Flacco out and just put Dylan Gabriel in, see what he can do. Then put Shador Sanders in. It's time to evaluate the quarterbacks. We'll see what they got. Joe Flacco just looks too old. He's too slow. He can't even roll out on a bootleg in this offense. That's a problem because there's gonna be a lot of those. And this offense can't function the way it needs to, clearly, without having that option. And so I think it's time to get some new life in there. I would put Dylan. I know Stefan said he's not making a quarterback change, but I just think I think it's time to put Dylan Gabriel in there. I love Joe Flacco, had a great career, but he's too slow. He can't even come out in the bootlegs. He's too old. And the offensive line, too old as well. That O-line's way too inconsistent. That O-line, I think, is going to be a year project. The more I watch them on tape this week, and the more I like their new coach, Mike Bloomgren, but I think Mike Bloomgren inherited a mess, and he walked into a mess. And they were so bad. They digressed so bad last year since Bill Callahan left. There's a lot of bad habits. The guys got older, and they never really recovered from that. Like I said, man, I think these guys now are trying to work out a lot of those bad habits from last year. They were in a system that didn't really fight them didn't really fight. I'm reading the comment. I see you, B Skrills. Tori, Humble, what's up, fellas? I'll get to your comments in a minute. I see a lot of bad habits carried over from last year. And I mean, it was so bad last year. That offensive line room got so bad and so unstable last year that the guy they brought in, Andy Dickerson, wasn't even really coaching by the end of the year. You had Mike Vrabel at the end of the year, who's a defensive guy coaching the offensive line by the end of last season. That's how dysfunctional and bad it was. And I think that's what you're seeing now. They're older, and they're just a lot of bad habits. Guys are too high when they're blocking, too slow getting out on the perimeter. We couldn't even set up a screen today. Pochich was too slow getting out on the screen on the one play, which might have got a lot of yards. I mean, it's just a lot of just old, slow. Just slow. I mean, slow everywhere, and just generic play calling. Everything's, like I said, everything's a long developing route. I've never seen any new creativity in this offense. I haven't seen it. There's just no creativity. It's just the same stuff over and over again. And we try to do the same things over and over again. It's so predictable. I think these teams that we're going against, these high-powered teams like the Ravens and teams with good defensive coordinators, good coaching and players, veterans, they're going to pick up on this stuff easily because the Browns are not that hard to guard right now. And they don't keep anybody off balance. They don't keep you, wonder what's going to come next. They know what's going to come next. They know what you're going to do. If you pass the ball, it's going to be a stick. It's going to be some very generic play we can guard. If it's a running play, it's going to be just a simple inside zone or just a toss to the outside or a handoff to the outside. It's, the linemen are going to be too slow to get out there to seal the edge. It's just the same stuff over and over with this team. And so, again, I think it's time to just put Dillon Gabriel in there. And my other my other suggestion I would make, I said this all of last year as well. I think Kevin Stefanski should really consider giving up play calling. He did it last year, and Mary Kay Cabot put out a report recently that said she may consider handing it over to Tommy Rees. Or that he may, I think I said she. He may consider handing it over to Tommy Rees at some point this year or next year. And when I hear that report from Mary Kay Cabot, that tells me because remember last year he kept the play calling beginning of the year, then eventually handed it over to Ken Dorsey, and the offense looked a lot better. Yes, they had the better quarterback play, obviously, Jameis Winston, but I thought there was a difference with both, not just the quarterback play, with the play calling as well for once Ken Dorsey called the plays in his offense. But I would let him – he needs to give up the play calling. I just think at times when I watch Kevin, he looks like Kevin looks like he's a little overwhelmed. He's trying to manage the stuff that the head coach needs to manage, and he's also trying to manage the play calling at the same time. And I think the offense just looks kind of the same because of that. There's just it's just kind of stagnant. I think at times, I think he has way too much on his plate, and I think he's just he just looks overwhelmed out there. And I think the offense reflects it a lot of times because there's no adjustments really being made. I don't see. And I just think he really should consider giving up that play calling to Tommy Rees. I really do. I think that's something, and it's already been reported. And the fact that it's being discussed behind the scenes already, according to Mary Kay, and it's being reported, tells me that he knows, okay, that's probably a good idea. That might be something I need to do because I think when he did that last season, that second half, I think there was a lot of things he liked about not calling plays. And I think he became a better head coach because of that. And that the team didn't end well last year, but I think he just did a better job. I'll tell you here, when Bill Callahan was here, Bill Callahan was actually charged a lot of the and Alex Van Pelt, he could rely on them to suggest plays. Bill Callahan he was the run game coordinator. He developed a lot of that. The running game, we were so effective here with consistent with Chubb and Hunt. Yeah, we had the backs, but Bill Callahan was a mastermind at that. And he could rely on those guys. He had good assistants around him and Van Pelt and like I said, Bill Callahan, where he can rely on them to help with that. He has guys right now that are all younger, and Tommy Rees and Deuce Staley, who's a running back coach. I think our running game coordinator now, I think, is a guy from UConn we hired in college, if I remember correctly. I think he's still here unless they replaced him. And then you got Mike Bloomgren, who I like, excuse me. Who he came as the head coach from Rice. So I think Kevin needs to maybe give up the play calling. I think he just looks a little overwhelmed. And I think why not try it out and see what do you have to lose right now? I mean, the offense is the worst in the league. It's been the worst in the league for the last year now. So why not try something new and see what happens? I think I would consider putting Dillon Gabriel or getting Dillon Gabriel ready to go play quarterback for the Browns very soon. And let's hand over the play calling to Tommy Rees. So let's see what happens. And maybe, hey, let's commit to the run a little more too. I want to see some more commitment to the run down the road here as well, not abandoning the run. I think when your running backs are going like Judkins was at one point, keep feeding them, and play off of that like we're supposed to. But again, I think they did try that a little bit with the play action pass off the run, but Flacco just looks very old. He can't even roll out to the perimeter. And how many times did we see today where Flacco just threw the ball, literally air milled it just out of bounds or checked it down? It seemed like every play, every possession it happened. And here we go. We're going to punt again. So I don't know. That's my thoughts on all this. I think the Browns, if they were in for a long season, entertaining to say the least, good or bad. But, I think we're going to have a lot of this year, like this fan today at the game, unless things change. I thought this fan today really summed it up with crying. He's got the little crying tears coming off his eyes. And, when? I think it's what fans are wondering, when. And so, man. Humble, what's up, bro? He said, hey, Joe, I know you're busy. Happy Sunday. What's up, Humble? He said, fire Kevin now. Let's see. B. Skrill said, the whole offense looks like they took a nap before they played the Ravens. Yeah, pretty much. They are old. They're very old. So they might need a nap at halftime. B Scrolls, how old they are. I didn't see no fight from the offense at all. No fight, no adjustments, no nothing. Just what it was, plain Jane. I mean, what's up, Parent John? He said, I mean, we started a 40-year-old at quarterback. I didn't think Joe has anything left in the tank. Start Fanning all the times. He's a freak. Yeah, Fanning looks good. All the rookies look pretty good. Yeah, Kevin has way too much on his plate. Let people help, man. Like, for the love of God. Yeah, I think he looks overwhelmed to me too. Parent John. Yeah, definitely. Old man Flacco. He's scared to call deep shots because of the Flacco interceptions. That could be it. If Browns, or maybe they don't have the speed, the guys that can open consistently either. But the Browns want to go 0-17, 1-16, 2-15, just keep playing Flacco. And maybe that's the goal, Beast Girls. Who knows? When you go out and when you get an additional first round pick for next year's draft, and there's Arch Manning rumors or whoever rumors, I mean, they're definitely taking a quarterback in the draft. I have no doubt about that. Whether it's him or Drew Aller or whoever. That might be the way to go. The defense did good in the first half, but it was only so long. Yeah, and that's a shame too, B Scrolls, because that defense is playing so hard. Myles Garrett, I thought, showed some really good leadership today, huddling the guys up, keeping them engaged. And they showed up and played, but they got gassed out just like last year. I mean, they can only hang in there against that, especially against a team like that with, the two-time MVP on the other side for so long. So, it's tough. Like I said, Browns are cheeks, 0-16 coming. What's up, Teflon Dog? Good to see you, brother. Yeah, everybody hit the like button on the way here. Subscribe if you haven't already. Browns are hot cheeks, 0-17. Arch Manning watched today's game and has decided to stay in college of the year. He might need to go stay in college of the year, Dan, based on his performance. But even if I think he'll be fine by the end of the year. But yeah, if he was, I if I were him, I'd want to stay. I ain't coming here with this regime right now. How could you? I don't trust those dudes. Well, he's just dying to come in here and throw stick routes and play in that vanilla offense. Just dying to do it. Just can't get enough of it. I got Michael Penix for a rushing touchdown. There you go. But let's get to it now. Let's get the panel in here. Get the guys up here. I'm sure these guys have a lot to say tonight. I know Mike's got a lot to say as well. Let's get to it. Joining me now, the man, the myth, the legend, Sir Michael Antonese.
Hello.
Jersey.
How do you?
Jersey, you got a bad echo in your end.
Again?
Yeah, I think your phone's picking up everything. I'm not sure what's wrong with it. Yeah, I'll bring you back up when you get it fixed. Just give me a thumbs up when it's fixed because it's really loud. I'm sorry. And we also got Gerg in the house. Gerg, what's up, brother?
What's going on?
What up? Appreciate you guys for being patient. I had some technical difficulties before I got on, but he says salute. Jersey's in the house. Humble said, let's go, Mike. Man, the Chiefs don't look the same. Same old Browns, 30 years of misery. Yeah, pretty much. Mike, I'll let you go first, brother. What's your thoughts on today's game? The floor is yours.
Yeah, very disappointing. I thought Kevin called a horrible game overall today. Trying to get the quarterback going in the first half, but all those like underneath routes and like screens, I mean, the Ravens were just reading like it was no problem. And unfortunately, the offensive line too old apparently to hit seal the edge or hit the block when they need to on a screen or any of that. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head, Joseph, but what was said earlier, I mean, Joe Flacco looks old. The O-line looks old, which is a shame. Wyatt Teller still looked good overall, but, I mean, Bitonio, Posich, left tackles so-so, but yeah, the O-line just looks old. Can't hit the edge the same way. I don't know if that's why we're not doing so many concepts when you pull a guard or what have you. But yeah, I thought Kevin called a pretty bad game overall. Thought the defense was lights out and played well as long as they could, but and then from that Flacco interception onward, it just kind of went downhill. But yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, my expectations weren't high for this season anyway. We're playing for the pick, as it were. But still want to have fun, exciting season. So throw on the young guys, see what we got. I don't see what more you get out of Flacco unless like maybe they are really just trying to get Gabriel ready. But yeah, I mean he's even hitting like the handoff slowly. Like the plays just develop so slowly with Flacco in there, and play calling's not doing him any favors either. A lot of underneath routes. I get trying to get the ball out of Flacco's hands quick, give him a check down option, but yeah, I'd like to see the youth out there, get Gabriel out there, see if it looks any better, and then get Shador out there, just see what the young bucks got.
Can you hear me, Mike? Mike?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I was double checking.
I realized I muted my mic as soon as you asked the question.
Oh, wait, okay.
And
Now
I
I'm back.
responded.
Something's wrong with my mic for a second. Okay. Anyways, Gers, go ahead, brother.
I'm just super mad at Dylan Gabriel for ruining my prediction being pretty much spot on at the end of the game. No, I mean it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be a rough year. I don't know though if you throw. I wouldn't throw Shador or Gabriel out there next week. I mean, Green Bay right now is looking, their defense is looking exceptional. I mean, I wouldn't throw any of those two rookies out there against them next week. That's for sure. But week after, I mean, that's when you could start talking about it. But personally, there's no way you're throwing those rookies out against the Packers. I mean, they shut down Goff and Daniels. I mean, I wouldn't expect any rookies to look good next week. That's for sure. But Junkins looks good. Fannin looks good. I mean, their rookies look good. You try to find positives. It's you don't want the same conversations every year or every week. Not every year. Well, that too, but just the same stuff. You could say the same thing.
Yeah, I thought Junkins looked good. Personally, I mean, Mike, what'd you think of Junkins today?
Apologies, I'm eating in between questions. I thought Jenkins looked great. Especially considering, I mean, he had 2 padded practices, and I think he had close to 70 yards, like 6.1 yards per carry. Yeah, I thought Judkins overall looked really, really good. I was really impressed, especially considering how many padded practices he had. But yeah, the rookies do look good. I think Joseph's having some technical difficulties, but I think all the rookies look good. I mean, again, my expectations for the season were very, very, very low. Didn't expect this to be a winning season. I thought best case scenario was like 7 wins. That's best case scenario. So as long as the rookies look good, though, I'm happy. We just got to find ways to get younger along that O line though to help the running backs, quarterbacks out. But yeah, Judkins looked great.
Jersey, are you good in the back? Let's see, maybe. You there, Jersey? I think he's trying to fix his phone, but no. Mike or Gerd, go ahead, Gerd.
I mean, I just they got to get younger and better at so many other positions. I mean, this this is looking like a complete rebuild again. I mean,
I don't know
great
about
for
the
the
rebuild.
what?
What do you think about? What other positions do they got to get younger at besides O-line?
I mean, Denzel Ward isn't getting any younger. I mean, he's one concussion away from having about 10, and he is by far the best corner that you have.
Right.
Yeah, it ain't even close.
I
Greg
mean,
Newsom looked good last week, and this week it looked like I don't know who he
yeah.
was this week.
I mean, so you got to get better there, younger there. I'm not in love with any of your safeties.
Nope.
I, uh, I mean, D line, I think is a middle linebacker. Other than that, pretty much everywhere. I mean, I can't. I mean, outside of Jerry Jeudy, who definitely shouldn't be a number one. I mean, maybe just completely rebuild there too. I mean, Cedric Tillman, okay. I
I
mean,
don't know if he's a starter yet. He looks a little too
yeah,
inconsistent for my taste.
yeah.
Some
So
plays I
And
watched of him, he
Isaiah
looked
Bond's
good.
young. He's in 2 games, so I mean, he's still got to develop. I mean, there's a bunch of young talent everywhere. I don't think getting younger.
But I don't think we'll ever know we have a receiver in this offense because all we do is call the same route concepts and everything. It's very generic. So it's like, how will we ever know what these guys can do? Like, you have Isaiah Bond, but for what? You're not going to use him properly. You going to run him on a stick route? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
why don't we start using these guys? And there's like Isaiah Bond's got speed. Get him in space. Get the ball in his hand. Run him in different route concepts. We're just doing the same old stuff. It's you know what I mean? It's just
Right.
generic.
yeah, but what I didn't say, I just said a complete rebuild. I mean,
Oh, I
again,
agree.
and
I'm not there at all.
I mean, I, I would probably say 7 players on your team are worth it. Other than that, I mean, I don't know what else is. I think and that to me is a complete rebuild. I mean,
Oh, when you trade away 3 years in a row of first round picks and you don't win, you're in a rebuild.
yeah,
They're already
yeah,
in a rebuild. I
yeah,
mean, look how they rebuilt the whole running back room. They're trying to find a quarterback still. They brought in a bunch of guys at receiver. They haven't rebuilt the DB room yet, the whole back 7 really. They brought a new linebacker. They brought a new defensive lineman. Like, they're in a rebuild. Like,
yeah, yeah.
they got 9 draft picks next draft. That sounds like back in 2018 and 20 we had all those draft picks back then.
And I guess it's even frustrating for me, and I know I'm a Lions fan, but like again, as you guys know, I follow the Browns, like the Browns. It's just hard to. I mean, how many times are it's almost like they're just rebuilding every year, and it just doesn't ever get better. I mean, you have one playoff year, then it's almost like, all right, yep, we're gonna
No,
make this trade for Watson,
yeah.
and then it just
Or hey, we made the playoffs with 4 or 5 different quarterbacks or 4th string left tackle. Let's just fire the whole offensive staff.
yep,
I
yeah,
mean, what sense does I mean, they've never recovered from those firings 2 years ago. Almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, whatever it is. They've never recovered from those firings. Their offense since then has barely scored over 20 points since those firings.
yeah, and and
They've been
and
the
I don't
worst offense in the league since they fired all 3 of those guys for no reason.
and I don't think it gets any better next week. That's for sure. I
No.
mean that Packers defense looks amazing. Packers look great. I mean, I think that yeah, I mean, I don't see a win in the future. That's for sure.
I don't see one until the Dolphins game.
Yeah.
Honestly, and that's only because it's at home. I got the super chat. Shout out to Jimmy Cleveland. Appreciate it, brother, with the $10. He said, I think it's time for rookie quarterbacks. They're not going to they're not going to do as bad as old Joe. The other rookies look good, so give them a chance. I agree with you. I mean, I don't think maybe not next week, like Gerg said, maybe not on the road at Detroit, but I would start prepping those guys. I think Gabriel definitely already is. I think Shador I think they'll put him out maybe later in the year. But I would definitely get him ready to take over the reins here in the next 2 weeks at least, or at the most for me. I would say in 2 weeks, get him out there. Because Mike, when we talked about it after the game, Mike, on the phone, I just think Flacco Mike, he can't run bootlegs. He looks too slow. He just like you said, the handoffs look slow. Like he just looks too old. If we can't do basic stuff in this system that we're like, obviously a lot of Kevin's play calling is play action. If we can't do that, and even the announcer, the play-by-play guy, or an analyst brought it up today. He's like, man, he goes, that's a big part of their offense. They got 2 guys on the bench and rookies that can get out on the perimeter fast, especially like Gabriel, who's pretty quick. They don't have that option, Mike. I mean, they're going to keep having these same results, and why not try something different? And I would say commit to the run more too. But what do you think, Mike?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, and I think they will commit to the run more at the very least as Judkins gets more comfortable. I just hope I don't see Jerome Ford on the field as much, man. He's like he had an okay game. I know I've been Jerome Ford hater.
Jerome Ford's furthest from the problem. I don't get I get what you're saying, but I don't. All this people online.
I just want to see more youth out there. You know what I mean?
If you're worried about Jerome Ford, you're worried about the wrong thing.
Right. No, but yeah, man, he just looks. He'll have moments because Flacco's arm is still there, but his body just isn't. He can't like step up in the pocket or maneuver. Like he's got it for a little bit, and then you can just tell he gets tired. You know what I mean? Like, I don't blame the dude. He's seen 40. A
40-year-old quarterback. Why not try to establish the run more to take pressure?
Right.
I mean, Joe Flacco threw the ball, I think, 45 times last week. Guess how many times he threw it today, Mike?
48.
45 times. Last week he threw it 45 times. This week he threw it 45 times. And I bitched last week. I said, if Flacco's thrown the ball more than 35 times, really, we got a problem. Because that's not, we can't. I don't want Flacco throwing the ball more than 35 times a game. If he is, I mean, he's going to throw a couple picks, which he did today. I know the one that we got lucky, it bounced off Humphrey's hand, but it should have been 2 picks. It was a terrible pass.
And then first pick was egregious too. I mean, it was. Yeah. The only pick was egregious. I mean,
they threw the ball 48 times today and ran the ball 22 times. Baltimore ran the ball 21 times, but only threw it 29 times. A lot more balance. We're not a very balanced team. We don't keep teams off guard. We don't keep teams off balance. And we're just a very lethargic attack. A lot of times when I watch them, Gergs, it looks like they just have like real – when you watch the offense, the fans just call it, there's no real like – what's the game plan? There's no rhythm. Like, what are we trying to do? It's like we're just out there just calling plays and just hope it works.
Yeah, I mean, here, but – obviously, Joe, you know that I've been saying this for years. It's very predictable. It's very blah. Like it's just not. I mean, but again, yeah, Flacco older, yeah, all that good stuff. But I mean, the receivers still aren't separating.
Nope.
The offensive line didn't really look great today.
No, they haven't looked good at all.
I mean, you can't just look at it like, maybe because you're if you're going to throw out the rookies, you're still going to put them and throw them out in a bad situation because that stuff isn't changing either. The play calling's not changing. Like the fact that nobody can separate. Jerry Jeudy drops too many balls. I mean, there's no way you can expect Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders to throw it 45 times.
No, hell no.
I mean, the way Shedeur Sanders holds onto the football for about 10 seconds each possession, each throw. I mean, there's just no way you can throw them out there and expect different results because everything else around you is just bad. Junkins looked great. I mean, obviously it's going to take him a couple weeks to get to be that full bell cow running back.
But I'm looking at the rushing stats real quick to add to that. Juckins 10 carries, 61 yards, 6.1 yards a pop. Jerome Ford 6 carries, 31 yards, 5 yards a pop, and we just only ran the ball 22 times between the two. I don't get. And where was Dylan Sampson? Had a great game last week. This week, Mike, we barely used him.
Yeah, I know that was a little head scratching too.
But you're averaging over 5 yards a carry with both of your guys on 16 attempts. Why not just keep running the ball until they stop it? I mean, I just like, especially at that one drive in the one part. What was it? The second quarter where Juckett started rolling, and we want to start chucking the ball down the field. Let's roll Flacco out of the pocket. He can't barely get out on the perimeter. I mean, I feel like sometimes, like you say all the time, Gergs, we talk about the situational game calling or play calling, not being like that's not having awareness of the moment of what the momentum is. It's like we're go ahead.
It's like in the second half, I sometimes just thought he called plays just to get Lamar back on the field because he just enjoyed watching him play.
He's helping his fantasy team. I mean,
I mean, sometimes everyone knows this. A great run game is your best defense.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can keep Lamar Jackson in that offense, Derrick Henry off the field, that's like, what are you doing? Why are you just consistently just three? And I mean, it's just hard to watch. And again, I know you say Kevin should give up play calling. I think that he should give up the head coaching position. and just, I mean, I honestly think that Miami game, they should just be like, look, the loser of this game has to fire their head coach.
The fiery bull. Dan said, let's talk about the lack of urgency the Browns had on offense with 8 minutes left in a few score game before the blowout. That looked like a team that actually wants to win. Yeah, I didn't see a lot of I don't maybe not I get urgency. I just didn't see a team with a real plan. I just saw a team that was kind of just winging it. You know what I mean? Just no real attack, no real plan, no, they have no identity offensively. I just don't see an identity right now. It's like 1 minute they want to run the ball, next minute we want to play spread, next minute we want to play action, next minute we want to call stick routes, next minute we want to, try to throw it downfield and double cover. I mean, I just don't see a real identity with this offense right now, guys. Do you, Mike? I don't.
No, not really. Actually, Dan brought up something that I agree with.
Right
yeah,
here?
no, I didn't like the.
No. Oh,
no.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. No, the offense looked like it lacked urgency a lot at the end of the third, beginning of the fourth. When Dan's right, it was only a few score game at that point. They weren't hurrying up to get a score in before the end of the third, just to keep the defense off balance. But it was a disappointing game. I thought Kevin called a horrible game. And maybe he should give up play calling to Tommy Rees just to get something new in there with one of the young guys, especially. I don't mind him as a CEO head coach. I still think he can do that job as well. But I like our assistants right now. I do like Bloomgren. I do like Tommy Rees. Jim Schwartz's defense is fine. It's great. Yeah, it's a shame. Today was a head scratcher for me. I was watching it and I was like, the offense is just just a horrible game plan overall today.
Yeah, Teflon said, why everyone talked about the defense, 41 points given up. The running game was poor because the Ravens didn't need to run. I thought the defense, Mike, I thought they got enough stops to keep them in the game. They really did. Without the defense, they wouldn't have been in the game. I thought, now here, do I expect those secondary flaws? Yeah, because I didn't like our secondary going into the season outside of Denzel Ward. So I could see that, but I thought overall they did a good job, especially in that first half. I mean, they held them to 10 points, and they made Lamar very uncomfortable in that first half. We just couldn't capitalize on anything. As a defense, that's demoralizing because how many times you get stop after stop after stop after stop, and your offense just goes out there 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and
Yeah.
out. And at
I
some
don't know
point,
if
you're
it-
like, man, you guys stink.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can attribute all 41 points to the defense because there was one
Well,
offense gave up
one of them was off a pick. Another one
yep,
was, you know, what I mean, just or
scoop
just
and score, right? They had a scoop
or
and score, and then there was a blocked punt. So
block
that's
punt,
17 points right there.
we couldn't flip the field offensively because we just got 3 and out. So it's like, you know, I mean, we just never helped them out at all.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
And
it was
we are limited in the secondary. We know that, but overall, though, I thought they've held up fine when the game was on the line until it got out of hand. Especially last week and this week, I thought they did a good enough job. It's just they're not getting. It's not complimentary football.
Yeah, they're not getting any help, and that was the biggest problem last year too. Is they didn't have competent enough quarterback play or run game to stay on the field. The offense, I mean, to give the the defense a proper blow. Like, I mean, these guys are going to get worn out no matter how good they play. And the offense needs to help the defense. My God, it's just it's frustrating for me too because I mean, here if we saw sheds of the O line getting old last year. Like, I get why you still got Joel in there, right? Like, you're gonna let him play until he retires. I get that. Wyatt still looks all right, but the fact that we're not trying Jenkins at right tackle, instead it's that Lucas guy, Cornelius Lucas,
who didn't have a good preseason in my opinion either.
Didn't have a good preseason.
Well, let's throw him out there.
Yeah, he was playing, but he was not playing well today. And here, Jenkins, I mean, I know he's played mainly guard in the NFL, but he's still a fresh cat. And his first season in the NFL, he was a right tackle, and he was great at it. I think he can swing to that position, see what you got.
Out of all those guys on offensive line right now, Mike, who's been dominant in 2 weeks?
Well, I mean, here Wyatt's had the most good reps.
He has he has the best tape. But when you look at that offensive line right now, there's nobody we've seen in 2 weeks for like, man, that guy's just been mauling dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Up the run, like we're just running behind him. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, and if we're gonna get younger on there, I mean, you have all these heir apparents, right? Like, I get you can't put Zach Zinner out there until Joel wants to retire. I get the optics of that. You're gonna let Joel retire. You're not gonna pull Joel. I get that. But you can't throw Whippler out there. You can't throw Jenkins out there. I mean, KT Leviston was thrown out there because Juwan Jones was like having a heat stroke or something for a couple plays. And he actually looked serviceable. Maybe he can swing to right tackle. I actually liked KT Leviston when he was coming out of Penn State. I don't know. I just want to see more youth. And if you're going to do an install for, these guys, like, I get maybe they're going to wait until the trade deadline to hey, trade Ethan or, I don't think Wyatt's going anywhere. I think he's probably going to be here for the long haul, but trade Ethan, trade Conklin, maybe move Jenkins to right tackle or KT Livingston, because I think KT Livingston could possibly be a starter at right tackle. I don't know. It's been odd how they didn't start to do those installs. I thought Ethan Posich over the offseason was for sure going to get released. And it shocked me a little bit that he wasn't. But yeah, man, I mean that O-line, it sucks to see. But it's just gotten old, man. I mean, Jack Conklin hurt all the time. You know what you get with him. I mean, Wyatt still plays well, but he's certainly not what he used to be. Joel is, this. You could tell this is Joel's last year.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just the way he's playing.
Yeah, shout out to Jeffrey. It's like anytime the first option is not available in Kevin's offense, there's nothing else there. Shout out to Jimmy Cleveland again for the $10. He said the difference is that the rookies can at least run the option play because they're faster at the edges. Joe can't.
Yeah.
Hold on, give me 1 second. I just saw somebody new. Dorian, good to see you. Said I think Flacco looks like exactly like he is a 40-year-old. He looked old and slow today. Put Gabriel in starting next week, or maybe even Zappy.
I would never want to see Bailey Zappi start for my football team ever again. But yeah, still in Gabriel.
And Dylan threw a nice pass there at the end of the game. I liked what I saw.
That was nice placement to Sampson.
Shador needs to go to Miami. Maybe. I mean, they look like they'll be doing a whole fire sale down there. Every opposing offense that plays the Browns is going to find Greg Newsome and Cam Mitchell on the field at all times. Help wanted. I agree. I totally agree. Tommy, good to see you. It's good. Let Kevin sit in the presser he created and watch everyone disappear week by week. LaFlame said Hawaiian Russell Wilson's on the way. What's up with Shador being iced out? Let's see. Anybody new? I think Jersey's good to go in the back, so we'll get him up here now. Jersey, you there?
Yeah, how's it sound now?
No, you're good. Go ahead. The floor's yours.
Well, obviously I didn't watch it. I wasn't going to spend my Sunday watching the Cleveland Browns. So I went back, watched the highlights. It's just a continuation of last week and last year and the year before and the year before that. Just a stumbling offense. You know, I watched the replay, and every offensive play it was 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. So without you even telling me, I knew they didn't run the ball, because that's why they're in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 constantly. But then I hear you up here talking about Judkins averaging 6 yards a carry, 4 or 5 yards a carry. Sampson last week looked great. Okay, why aren't you here? Just run the fucking ball. I don't. We're not even guys in the NFL. We know this. I don't understand why this guy wants a 40-year-old guy throwing the ball 50 times a game and only running the ball 25 times a game. You draft 2 running backs. What did you draft them for? I mean, it just seems like they wander aimless. There's no culture. And because there's no culture, there's no identity. I think the players probably even feel like this. Like, well, what the hell are we doing? And as I'm sitting here listening to all this, I just don't know why. Again, like what I was talking about last week, when you talk about results. It's all about results and anything. I don't know why these guys are still here. I think in every other team, these guys would be gone. They'd be fired. I don't know why they're still here. I mean, nothing has changed in this Browns offense as long as Stefanski's been here. And I don't care who you got out there quarterback. It's just going to be little fucking screens and little slants. I mean, it's so easy to defend that offense, especially when you're not even running the ball.
Such a powerhouse offense, isn't it?
Yeah, it almost looks like.
What's up, Bruce? Good to see you, brother. Go ahead.
It almost looks like you're running scrimmage. It just seems like you're just. It looks like it's just a continuation of practice. You know what I mean? Like you're out there just throwing the ball around, warming up, running some short routes, and it just doesn't. There's never been any potency in that offense. I mean, well, here when you had Chubb and Kareem Hunt, the running game was potent, but I mean, we just go away from it. I don't know. I mean, it's just football 101. You got to run the ball. You have to establish the run, and you can't abandon it. And it's like, even if I would have loved to at least seen them try to, even though they abandoned it last week, try to establish it this week. Just stick with it. You know what I mean? Everyone knows you're not going to win a football game. Usually not going to win a football game. I know there's exceptions. Passing the ball 75% of the time, especially with a 40-year-old quarterback. I just don't know what the hell they're doing. I feel terrible for the defense. I mean, these guys practice all week and they get out there and they're playing well and they just can't get a break. You know what I mean? And then you got people pitching because they gave up 41 points. Well, no shit. They're on the field nonstop. They're tired. You know what I mean? They were doing their job the second half or the first half. That's what happens when you're on the field too much. You get tired. You know what I mean? Especially against a team like Baltimore that could just run it down your throat. You know. So the other thing I told you when I watched the replay is it was crazy. Lamar Jackson is beating. He beat the Cleveland Browns in the air. He didn't even have to run the ball. You know what I mean? That secondary is it's just garbage. Greg Newsome. I mean, this guy. I mean, it's like a video game when you're playing against them. Just start the Greg Newsome side. I mean, it's just terrible. I mean, it's when are they going to just? I would just love to know what the hell the plan is going forward. I mean, obviously they're looking to get a quarterback, but just to do this to the fans for another 15 games, that's absolutely terrible. I think what they should just fire these guys, give the fans something to look forward to, something fresh. I don't know, but hear that again, you stuck Cleveland. So
Hey, when you said for another 15 games, did you mean for another 15 years?
I tell you what, I mean, I'm sitting here. When you guys were talking, and when Joseph was born, he came home from the hospital on Labor Day weekend with a Browns onesie on. This is when the Browns came back to expansion. This was they played that weekend. That's 1999. And you think about that, man. It's 2025, and we're still no better than we were than 1999. Think
Might
about
be worse.
isn't that crazy, dude? It's been 26 years, and it's like we're an expansion team, except for the defense. I mean, but here it's all about results, all about your record. You know what I mean? It's all about what are you putting on the field. How are the fans feeling when they're leaving? Even if you lose a game, how are the fans? I'm okay losing a game as long as the fucking team played well. And they were competitive. It just got outplayed, or it came down to a turnover. But it is literally like you just sit, like Mike said, you just sit and scratch your head watching this offense. I mean, it's like insanity. It is literally like insanity. It's the same thing over and over and over. And I just think Stefanski, I'm not a fan of him being a CEO. He just hasn't established a culture. I think he's just too. I just don't. I don't think he has I don't think he has the command of the locker room, all the coaches, the players. I he just doesn't have a presence. Coach has to have that. And I just don't think these guys, I've said this every year, they don't get up for that, guys. It just don't get up for Stefanski. They'll get up for Schwartz on defense. Those guys on that defense, they're playing for Jim Schwartz. They're not playing for Kevin Stefanski. It's pretty obvious. So, but the offense, you got Kevin Stefanski coordinating the offense. So this is what you get. I just don't think they get up for the guy. So,
what do you think of this question? He said, "Is it Stefanski's fault or GM/ownership?"
Well, it always goes back to ownership. Absolutely goes to ownership. That's who pays Stefanski. I mean, I would think that Jimmy Haslam would know a hell of a lot more than any of us. I mean, this guy owns a team. This guy's a successful businessman. This guy's supposed to be very good at evaluating people. He's supposed to know when it's time to make a change. He knows he's supposed to be aware of how a structure is supposed to work at a company. A culture has to be established. None of that has went on. So he is first to blame, but he's not going anywhere. So who do we go to next? You get rid of that idiot D Podesta, that'd be the first guy, and then I'm gonna just say at this point, yeah, here the Watson thing, it ran its course. This whole front office and this coach has ran its course. It's just time to move on. Just you know what I mean?
Why do you think so? Why do you and Gergs, you too? Why do you think people are so attached to this regime and don't want to let go of it? Because they've had the most success and they're afraid of change again, which I
Well,
understand.
I've heard people say, well, like I heard people talk about Baker Mayfield. He got us to the playoffs. You know, Baker Mayfield, he was part of that team that somehow made it to the playoffs. Okay. Uh, maybe. Or you get the people, he's 2-time coach of the year. What the hell does that mean? That doesn't mean he earned it. We were all stunned. I could see maybe the 1 year where they had all the injuries. They were just completely depleted and had Flacco in there, brought him in and made a playoff run. But maybe there's an argument. But that's still not a reason. All that matters is what's the fucking record? How does the team look on the field? They're an absolute joke. They're everyone makes fun of them. They're a mockery in sport. I mean, they're just get rid of them. I just don't. I don't know how anybody. I don't know. I don't know how anyone can sit here and say we got to keep these guys. I just I don't know. It's the analytical people. They feel like they correlate with these guys. I think that's a huge reason. We've talked about it so much. We've talked about it so much on here. Why we get what we get because they just run 100% on analytics. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work, and that's why in situations they don't know what the fuck to do because the situation's always changing. You can't predict the situation, and I don't think analytics keeps up with it. You know what I mean? You got to have somebody that's sitting, people up in the booth, up in the sideline at any moment when something goes wrong, or let's just say, hey, they get a turnover. You got to be able to make decisions right then. You can't sit and be waiting on analytics. And I just think they're just and it's obvious, and everyone knows it. They're completely driven by that. So they don't know what the hell to do. They don't have a temperature. I like to say that all the time. I use that in the showroom. They don't have a temperature on the game. They're constantly looking at data. What's the data say we should do? And that's what you have out there, and that's the result. Schwartz, you don't have that with Schwartz because he's a football guy. You got a football guy running your defense. That's why the defense does what it does. They're not looking at. I dare someone to tell that guy, "Hey, what's the data say we should do? What's the analytics say we should do?" Get the hell out of here. So that's what you have.
Did you remember what Peyton Manning said this week on the Manning cast about the analytics department and Randy Moss?
Yeah, and Randy Moss. Yeah, that was.
Randy Moss said, "Ain't nobody listening to no analytic department."
And that tell here right there, but here.
And Randy Moss, if you watch that in that second half when the Vikings came back, Randy Moss could call out everything the Vikings were going to do and because he don't need a computer. The guy just has a football PhD in football.
Well, you listen to anything. I remember when you listen to guys doing color on telecast, whether it was Robo or whomever, anybody ever, Aikman, whoever, these guys, they would basically tell you what the offense is going to run, just according to the situation. You know what I mean? Look for this to happen right here. Look for this, and it happens. You know what I mean? It's just football IQ, and having a temperature, having your thumb on the game, and you just can't rely on a computer to do that. And that's the Cleveland Browns, and that's why we got what we got. So
Dan put out a heck of a thing earlier to Gergs and Mike. I'll start with you, Gergs, and Mike. You can respond as too. The Browns have also lost 9 games in a row, which has been talked about in the media much. Based on their schedule, they may get to 20 in a row. LOL. I didn't think of that, but they've lost 9 in a row. Dad and Gergs and Mike, they could get to 20.
that would be terrible.
Or
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gergs.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's The word is insanity. It's just insane. I don't get it. I don't get why it's just the same thing and nothing changes. And again, I don't know if changing quarterbacks right now is the answer. I don't know. I I don't think it is. I think that you're putting them out to fail. Um, I don't think that they're going to, and I'm talking either one of them. I don't think either one of them are going to look good. Because how can you look good? How can you look good with a very bad subs? Sub maybe bottom 10 offensive line in the NFL. Um, Definitely worst wide receiver room in the NFL. Um, Two rookies as your running back. I mean, how good can you look? Um, I've said it before, and I don't think a lot of people agree with me, but I don't know if Patrick Mahomes could do good
He
in
could have.
Cleveland. I just don't know. I don't know how many games they win with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. I don't know if it's a quarterback problem. I honestly just simply think it's a Cleveland Brown terrible culture, terrible decisions, time after time after time. I think it's that. I don't. Everyone's searching for the quarterback, but they're also the first ones to get rid of the quarterback or turn their backs on the quarterback if they don't look good 3 weeks.
Or don't help the quarterback succeed.
Exactly. So I don't know if the Browns are even there yet. When
Do
you're
they
in a
even know how to
complete,
develop a quarterback?
yeah, exactly. So if you're in a complete rebuild, why are you throwing a rookie quarterback out there? First off, why are you drafting two? But secondly, why are you throwing it out there? I don't know. I'm not there
Yeah,
yet.
why are
I
you
think
drafting two and then saying, "Hey, we're going to take another one next year"?
yeah. None of it
That's
makes
that's
sense.
the only problem we have.
None of it makes sense. It's just complete misery.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't want them to draft a quarterback unless the front office and the coaching's gone. Because it's going to
Yeah,
be the same thing. It's
change the
not the
culture
quarterbacks.
first.
I
Yep.
mean, the quarterbacks are, yeah, we got a 40-year-old quarterback, and we got a couple of rookies, and the quarterbacks we've had before. It's never been their fault. You know, these guys are professional football players. They're all pretty much can come in and manage an offense at least. It's they've just been set up to fail. And why would we want to? I don't care if it was Patrick Mahomes being redrafted. You know what I mean? Or if somebody told me today they showed me a crystal ball and it just showed Arch Manning becoming a Hall of Famer, I don't want him. I don't care because it's just going to get screwed up with these guys here. So like, I hope to gosh Jimmy Haslam. I mean, here Jimmy Haslam's not going anywhere, obviously. So we're stuck with Jimmy Haslam. Um, I would hope to gosh that he would be firing all these guys before he does that. I just can't believe this guy believes in these guys.
Well, shout out to NCD. I thought you had a great comment here. It's been the same culture since the owners took control. We've had good coaches, we've had good players. We go through the same cycles every 2 to 5 years. The fish rots from the head. And it's like what Jeffrey said. Good to see you, Jeffrey. Said, look at what the 49ers did with injuries on their team, and Mac Jones was their starting quarterback. And, it's funny, Jeffrey, we had
It's
that
culture.
and 2 years ago, we had that going with the staff we had with Van Pelt, Stump, and Bill Callahan, and we just fired everybody. Just got rid
I
of
think
them all.
that's where they really screwed up. They
and
fired those guys.
and Jersey and I met Ro Goldstein Friday night, host of the Stump Top podcast. Shout out to Ro. We're going to do some stuff with them in the future here pretty soon. But he made a point last week on their show, Jersey, when I watch them every Tuesday. They've never recovered since those firings. Ever.
No.
They've never recovered since those firings. You got any thoughts on that,
No.
Mike? You still there, bud?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, I mean, and it sounds like from what Breer said, I think it was on the Rich Eisen show. You brought up the clip a couple times. You know, Kevin and didn't want that to happen. It just goes back to show that, you know, the full control and the oversight from the owner. The fish rots from the head's a very good metaphor because, I mean, they forced the Watson trade. Then they forced the offense change into something Kevin's not
Air
like.
raid.
Yeah, right. That's
well
not
documented. It's well
right.
documented. And
that he's not particularly fond of. And ever since then, now that with Deshaun not working out, you know, it's like he's starting from scratch. I mean, you know, you're not far off from like I wouldn't go as far as like expansion team per se, but it's like it's almost like he's a first year head coach again because he's like, okay, well, you know, they made me do all this stuff. Now I have to find a new OC that I can be comfortable with for long term. I have to find a new O-line coach. And I have to find a new this, a new that. And the only offensive assistant that's still here from before, who I would rather see gone, is Chad O'Shea, who's been my least favorite.
Who's the wide receivers coach?
Yeah, that's the wide receivers coach. I've been wanting him gone for years. Like I still do not know how Chad O'Shea has a job, but you know, otherwise, I mean, he was starting from like scratch, and you know, I mean, I get wanting a fresh start, wanting Kevin gone because of all these things, but like, I mean, I know some people might disagree with me, but I don't think Kevin's been dealt a very fair hand over the past couple of years, especially with, you know, the Watson trade and, you know, Albert Breer stating, like, you know, came from the top down that he had to get rid of the assistants that he planned to have long term unless they got hired out.
Well, I agree with you on that. I mean, I agree totally with you on that. I just don't know. I just who Stefanski is. I just don't know if he's a head coach.
Well, there was two parts to that Albert Breer report. Remember, it was they forced his hand on the firings, right? But remember, it was also his personality is not very outgoing, which is very well known, and that's Van Pelt was the glue of that staff and held things together, and that's been gone, and it's kind of reflected it since. And maybe that might be true. And Mike, I know, like I think Kevin's a really good guy. I think players like him. I think you know, I think he could be a good OC like he showed Minnesota. He may be a good CEO head coach if he gives up play calling, but I don't know. Mike, let me ask you this. Because I thought about this, Mike. Remember last year, once Deshaun Watson was done, he handed off play calling to Ken Dorsey finally. And people for weeks, I would say that he should have handed off sooner. What if he hands off play calling, Mike, to Tommy Rees once they pull Joe Flacco? What does that tell you?
You broke up on the last part. Could you repeat the last part one more time? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said, what if he hands off play calling like he did last year when they make a quarterback? Remember when Deshaun was out?
Yeah,
and he finally gave up play calling to Ken Dorsey when it was Ken Dorsey's offense last year. Once that Jameis Winston came in, but the Watson thing was done, and we were saying for weeks before that he should have handed off prior to that with Watson in there. But if he hands off the play calling, Mike, to Tommy Rees, which Mary Kay said could happen this year recently on the Fan, if he hands that off once they make the quarterback change from Flacco to Gabriel, what does that say to you?
What does it say to me?
Yeah.
I mean, I think maybe it could be construed in a couple ways. You know what I mean? To me, I'm an optimist Homer fan, right? Like, so I would hope that it's a good thing that, you know, he trusts Tommy Rees enough to do that. You know, Tommy Rees, I really liked when we promoted him. You know, I think he's a great young football mind. Came from great stock at Alabama. And, that's the one thing Kevin always needed was like fresh ideas coming from college, because like here, the Kubiak system that he ran can only go so far. There's only so many ways to skin a cat. You know what I mean? So to me, I think that that's probably the best case scenario. Is him giving it to Tommy Rees, because one, I want to see how Tommy Rees does, and if it's successful, great. And also, Tommy is used to a similar offense that Kevin runs. So, and also maybe because I've thought this for a while, like, what if Kevin just doesn't like play calling? What if he never came in wanting to do that? Or
but why do you think though, if that was the case, right? Why did he gave it up as soon as Watson was done, right?
Mhm.
And then when it wasn't his offense last year, they brought in a guy and he wouldn't let him call his own plays. I don't know if that was Kevin trying to hang on for control, but it's like I wonder, Mike, what the hell's going on here? Because it's like you said, or I think Jersey brought it up, or somebody, or you brought it up, Mike, that how they made him switch his offense to more of the air raid. And it's like I think at times, Mike, we watch when I say they have no identity. It's like 1 minute they're trying to play air raid and throw the ball around the lot 45 times like they did the last 2, and then some minutes they're trying to run the ball, run play action. You know what I mean? What he used to do. I just wonder, like, when you hear, was it Aditi Kinkablaw, the CBS sideline reporter, say last year that she doesn't believe he has the full on time to do what he wants to do. I just feel like it keeps showing itself week after week after week. And that's why I think Kevin, when I watch him, like he looks a little overwhelmed calling plays and being a head coach at the same time, because I think he's got so much he's got to manage. And
yeah,
you guys can answer. I wonder if that's his way of control is just by holding on to play calling. But once Flacco, I would assume he thought was his best chance to win this year, and so far it doesn't look like that. And so I think pretty soon, I mean, the owner already came out and said for the season, both these guys are going to play this year. The owner already said it, so that alone, kind of right there, that's that's conflicting, because if the coach believes Joe Flacco should start the season because he feels like he gives him the best chance to win to start the season, and then you got the owner saying before the year that, hey, both these guys have to play this year, that doesn't add up well to me, from my observation. What do you guys think? Just seems like a lot of different
Well,
strategies.
I was thinking just a few minutes ago. There's just structural issues too. Like who the hell's the boss? Is it
Exactly.
Jimmy? Is it D? Is it D Podesta? Is it JW? Is it the fucking guys that clean their cars? Is it? I mean, who the hell is it? The fucking concessions people? Who's running the? You know what I mean? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
does it get to a point where, let's just say, Angie Berry doesn't know who the hell his boss is? Like, why the hell is John D. Podesta there? What does he do?
You mean Paul?
Paul, yeah, what does he do? Why is this guy in a hierarchy? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then Big JW, you know what I mean? Like, you just got too many bosses, and it makes you wonder, you know, well, here, I don't wonder. It's like that in any company. You got when there's structural issues and when there's just too many bosses, especially above like a GM or a head coach, there's just always issues. Why it just should just be the coach, the GM, the owner, coach, GM, the owner, or coach, president of football operations, owner. The chain of command should never. People should know what it is, and so with the Browns, it just doesn't seem like that. And just the fact that Paul D. Podesta, who knows nothing about football, uh, why is this guy still there? Why did this guy pick the GM and the coach? I mean, those were his guys. He wanted those guys before they made Freddie the coach. And I don't know why it's D Podesta making personnel decisions in the front office and on the sideline for the Browns. I mean, this guy was just supposed to be some cat that knew how to get the most of your money, get your money's worth out of players, and all of a sudden he's running an NFL team. He's running. I mean, the biggest franchises in the world, the biggest. I mean, this is an NFL football team, and some reason this guy. Somebody felt this guy was qualified to run the team above all these other people. There were possibilities, football minds, people with experience, people that knew how to relate to people that came up through the ranks. You know, people that became GMs or guys that became coaches, or hell, even assistant coaches. You know, I just it's just no wonder. I mean, it's screwed up all the way down. So, I mean, the crazy thing is though, we're stuck. We're stuck with this owner who thinks it's okay. I mean, I don't know how the hell he's a billionaire. I don't know how the hell his other companies are so successful if this is how they operate. But there's certainly structural issues, and you wonder how many different opinions are being told to these guys. You know, I still don't. I still don't. I still don't. I'm not blaming everybody other than Barry. I still think they should go. I just don't. I don't know. Barry, you know, maybe Barry should be managing, you know, setting up contracts, doing shit like that. But I think your GM has to be a football-minded person, somebody with a certain level of experience, because you don't gather respect if you don't have that. I mean, it's here. You think about what I do. There's very few people that I'm going to respect because they had to, you know, had several years experience before me or at the same level, or, I mean, you guys, Chris and Mike, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm just not going to listen. I'm just not going to, it leaves me very uninspired. So, I think you know, your coach could be in a position that way where I got a guy that's telling me what to do that's never fucking played football or has very little experience, and then this freaking geek that's hanging out in San Diego. I got to listen to this guy. I mean, I'd be pissed off every day just pulling in the Berea. So I don't know if it's ever going to change, man. It might be where, as long as Haslam's the owner, we're gonna be having these conversations.
Yeah.
Oh, I came back. It's funny you bring that up because last week I heard this from J.W. Johnson on 92.3 The Fan, and it really stood out to me because of what he said here. And when I listened, I'm going to listen to it again. When I initially listened to this, though, I heard some things, and I just got the vibe that they just feel like, you know, they're going to get it right. That, you know, they think they know what it's going to take to hoist the Lombardi, like he says here. Here's what J.W. said.
That discount our belief and our passion for winning are sorely mistaken. And if you want to come down here and get to know us and have a real conversation to see our passion, I welcome that. We care about this team. We care about our fan base. We care about the city. Everything we try to do here is to win every day. Last year was candidly a disaster, and it pissed us off. It pissed our players off. It pissed the coaching staff off. I know how much it pissed our fans off. I apologize the language, but that's just true, right?
Yep.
And our fans care about this club like it's their own, and we want them to. But we're doing everything we can to win. We're going to continue to do everything we can to win. And listen, sometimes you got to break a few eggs to make a good omelet. And we're going to continue to do that. We're going to take big swings, and whether that's signing players or drafting guys, whatever that takes, we're going to do it. And by God, one of these days we're going to be hosting Lombardi, and I can't friggin' wait. So thank you to our fans. Keep supporting us. Last year was last year. We're moving on to 2025.
So
This was a week ago?
Hold on.
Hold
on. Let me talk here for a second. So one of these days, they're going to be hoisting a Lombardi. That's number one. And then that reminds me of, Mike, what our players said this week leading up to the game. how tackling Derrick Henry's no problem. Jerry Jeudy said their offense was going to go out there and be great, and they looked like absolute horse shit. Our players decided, and Grant Delpit talking all week, and before the game, Jerry Judy's flipping off their fans with 2 middle fingers when they booed him. Our players are talking to the media all week like there's some game busters, like they won 12 games last year. You won 3 games, you didn't do shit. And then I hear this guy come out on the radio and say, I dare anybody to come down here and see how hard we're working every single day. Well, yeah, you might be working very hard, but are you working? Is what you're doing producing wins? Excuse me. Is what you're doing? Do you know what the hell you're doing? Because that guy sounded like, what that came off as to me when I listened to it again when I heard it the first time. It's all players. We need to get the right personnel in here, and we're going to hoist the Lombardi one day. You can't buy wins. You can't buy, and that's what they've tried to do. They tried to buy a quarterback with Deshaun Watson. And the mindset is just off, and it's just like to sit up there and say and talk like that and say, "Come on down here to Berea and see how to lose." Yeah, well, I'll come down there. Well, I'll evaluate. Yeah, that's how you lose right there. That's how you lose. Your practice habits are probably terrible. This and that. Yeah, come on down to Berea. I would see how hard we're working. That's great. You're working hard. I do think Haslam wants to win, but I don't think they know how. And that's the problem. Nobody in that building knows how to win. And so, yeah, it's a nice dream. You can dream of hoisting a Lombardi trophy, but until you have some self-awareness to look in the mirror and say, hey, we're the problem. We don't know what we're doing. We need to go get some people that know what they're doing and have done it. You're not going to win anything, bud. Hate to break it to you. Go ahead, Jersey.
Well, I was going to ask you, get a hold of him. Can you contact the Browns? I'll go in there. I want to go down there and I want to ask Big JW. He says anybody wants to come on. Can you get a hold of him? I'll go there.
Hey, we'll say right now in this podcast, we'll all come up there and we'll walk and we'll bring people with us as well that have football backgrounds and they can evaluate it too.
Give us a half an hour Q&A with the front office. He said it, so I will go in there and I want them to explain to me the last fucking 7-8 years. I want them to explain to me why the hell I should be a fan. I should turn their shit ass product on TV. I should burn my Sundays up every day. I should buy their apparel. I want them to explain to me and all the other fans worldwide that continue to support this bullshit. That guy, he kind of had a little bit of I felt like he was saying, hey, fuck you fans. Yeah, he's sitting there talking about how much their fans care. And to me, that's how it sounded like. You know what I mean? He should have a little more humility and say, hey, I kind of like what Haslam said. We missed. We swung and it was a miss. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just be honest about it. This guy's acting like the fans owe them. So
and just I wonder, you wonder too. There's always reporters behind the scenes.
I can bring my calculator.
Yeah, and I've heard reporters behind the scenes always kind of allude that JW. People behind the scenes have alluded to him as kind of maybe a guy that I don't know. Maybe is he too involved? And I've heard Adam the Bowl go off on him many times. I mean, could that be a problem right there? Because you're right. Because I heard Jimmy Haslam before the season said he joked like, "Hell, maybe we don't know what we're doing," and he said he took accountability for the Watson trade that he forced it. And that was a swing and a miss. But then I hear this guy coming out and saying that, and it's kind of like, okay, who's calling the shots here? Because that sounds like somebody with no self-awareness at all of what they're doing.
Anybody wants to come down? Okay. All right. You said it. We're going to come down there.
I would advise people, if you want to be successful in football, don't go down there because what you're going to see is going to be what not to do. Again, at the end of the day, it's the NFL. It's all about wins and losses. We don't care about how hard you're working. Everybody's working hard. It's your job. It's what you get paid to do. Is what you're doing correct? Is it producing wins? So it's all about at the end of the day. That's great and fine and dandy and great talk and hoorah, but the production on the field says otherwise.
Unbelievable.
You got anything to that, Gergs? What JW said there?
Gotta crack a few eggs to make it go. I mean,
They went through like 40 cartons of eggs.
yeah, that's my first thought was a few. I mean, they've been
I said
cracking eggs.
40. No, I said
No,
40. Oh, yeah,
no,
him. Yeah.
no, yeah, him. My thought was, I mean, what do you mean you got to crack a few eggs? They've been cracking eggs for 30 years.
Right.
I mean, what? That was just silly. I mean, of course, you want to win, and of course you work hard. But is any of it effective? I
Well,
mean, what are you working hard at? Are you working hard on the analytics? Are you working hard on the data? Or are you in the building and trying to get football guys in the building instead of being like, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at the wide receivers, get absolutely zero separation. The offensive line can't block for anything. And then, oh, by the way, we drafted 2 freaking quarterbacks, 2 running backs, a tight end, and our offense sucks. I mean, what do you? And then you make a trade for next year that you already pretty much say you're going to get a quarterback. So you just drafted 2 quarterbacks. You already make a trade for another one next year to be named later. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? I mean,
they're working hard, dude.
None of it makes any sense. Like, and you can't trust. You know, you would love to be like, oh, you know what? Trust the process. Trust the process. Trust the process. But you can't, because the process has been going on year after year after year, and all it does is end in 3 and 14 seasons. I mean, you just keep going on and on and on about, oh, we're working hard, we want to win too, and it makes us mad that we don't win. Okay, I mean, you're supposed to say that, but like, do you really mean it? I mean, because the product that you're putting on the field shows that you don't mean it at all. And here, I've said it a million times, as far as back to the Stefanski thing, I'm not saying Stefanski's not a good coach. He's made it to this level. Okay. There's different coaches for different situations and different teams and different cultures and different organizations. He is not a guy for the Cleveland Browns. That doesn't mean that he couldn't go to a team that already has an established culture and do well there. It's just here, he's not a culture builder. But I've said it for 4 years now, that this guy is not a culture builder. I don't know if he's able to turn around a franchise. It's one thing to come into a situation, call some plays when you already have some players and look good and whatever. It's a completely different thing to say, you know what, not only do I need to have our football team play better, I need to change a losing culture around. And he's not that guy. And there's not probably many guys out there, but they have to find it.
By the way, if you guys don't know what Dan's referring to, I'll play it again one more time for the people that just tuned in. Here was J.W. Johnson, Browns owner, part of the Browns ownership group, on the Fan last week. Here's what he had to say.
And if you want to come down here and get to know us and have a real conversation to see our passion, I welcome that. We care about this team. We care about our fan base. We care about the city. Everything we try to do here is to win every day. Last year was candidly a disaster, and it pissed us off. It pissed our players off. It pissed the coaching staff off. I know how much it pissed our fans off. I apologize the language, but that's just true, right?
Yep.
And our fans care about this club like it's their own, and we want them to. But we're doing everything we can to win. We're going to continue to do everything we can to win. And listen, sometimes you got to break a few eggs to make a good omelet. And we're going to continue to do that. We're going to take big swings, and whether that's signing players or drafting guys, whatever that takes, we're going to do it. And by God, one of these days we're going to be hosting Lombardi, and I can't friggin' wait. So thank you to our fans. Keep supporting us. last year was last year. We're moving on to 2025.
They're cracking eggs. Humble. He said put a lot of comments. I got my rabbit. Great night, everyone. My bad, Humble. I see all the comment, Humble, but I when I was ranting earlier, Humble, I'm going off in rants. Plus, there's so many comments. I appreciate the comments. But I'll definitely make sure I get yours up here, Humble. Let's see. A lot of us just welcome in. Oh, right here. I see you, Humble. He said, give me 1 second. I'll find it a second. But Mike, what's your thoughts on JW's comments? I'm curious what you think of this.
I mean, it just seems like, normal like company man speak. You know what I mean? Like, I don't take too much out of it. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't remember his actual title, but like I know he's high up. Isn't he Haslam's son-in-law or something like
He's
that?
son-in-law.
Yeah,
That's his title,
Yeah.
son-in-law.
Yeah. So,
married in.
yeah, I mean, it's normal company man stuff, like,
Nepotism.
He said last year was a disaster. At least he admitted to that, but like, just a whole lot of company man speak. I mean, that's how
What the hell
goes.
else would he say?
What else
last
are you
year?
gonna say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, man, the more I listen to that, I'm just like, oh my gosh. You guys got what you want to add to that?
I mean, one of these days we're gonna be hoisted on Lombardi.
God willing.
Just last year is last year. Must be nice to just be,
Name a team right now in the NFL that's further away from hosting a Lombardi than the Cleveland Browns.
Carolina Panthers.
I disagree.
They at least got
All right.
I would say there's no team. I mean,
there's no team because their structure is not as bad as ours.
and we have had
what structure?
I mean,
who in this structure is going to lead us to the Super Bowl? Nobody. Yeah, maybe the Saints, but the Saints at least have won a Super Bowl before in the organization. We haven't won shit. We haven't won the damn division.
right. We can't win our damn division. We can't win a game. We can't get a fucking first down.
We know how to punt.
We can't run the ball.
He said the Raiders, but the Raiders at least got Pete Carroll. I'll take Pete Carroll. Though. I mean, that's my whole thing. It's not even the personnel.
Oh, they're getting football guys. They're getting Brady. The Raiders are.
Yeah, they're on their way.
Yeah. He said the Jets. Thanks for tuning in, Matthew. The Saints, and I get that from a Carolina. I get that from a personnel standpoint, but I'm talking organizationally.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
To me, without the organizational from the head coach on up, what's worse than this?
I mean, honestly, though, take Myles Garrett off the Cleveland Browns. It is by far the worst roster in the NFL.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Name one worse.
The Saints, the Panthers.
Where are the Browns better than the Saints?
Where this linebacker, defensive tackle, defensive end, corner room overall is better. Their safeties are young and up and coming, so I'll give them that. Our tight ends, Kamara's still decent enough. Their O-line's better, but let's see.
Their wide receivers are better.
Yeah, wide receivers are better, but overall their defense is inept. Yeah, I mean that's a little bit of a reach, in my opinion, Chris. Like, I don't think our roster per se is bad. Actually, the glaring issues are glaring. So, That's the one decent thing. Like wide receiver, you need to get younger in the O-line, get like another free safety. I don't hate our safety room. It's fine, but it's not like, a world beater by any means. I think our defense is fine. Personnel, coach-wise even. I actually like all of our assistants in that room. I like our DC. Like our roster isn't horrendous. Quarterback, O-line, wide receiver, glaring issues.
Secondary.
Secondary.
Our secondary is not that bad.
Oh,
Our
it's-
secondary stinks.
What the hell are you talking
Stop
about,
it.
Mike? Them
Stop
boys are
it.
trash.
Denzel Ward, it's fantastic.
Stop
Greg
right
Newsom had
there.
a good.
Just stop right there after Denzel Ward.
Greg Newsom played good last week. Today, overall, he was decent. Other than the one,
He looked like shit today, Mike.
That's the story of his career. 1 week he looks good, the next 2 weeks he looks terrible. I can't have that. I'm not paying that guy. Show me some
Look here.
consistency.
Lamar Jackson beat you with his arm. That's a problem. I mean, because he's not the best throwing quarterback. He
Who in
beat
that
you.
secondary besides Denzel Ward would you give him a second contract right now?
what was that?
I'm asking anybody because Jeffrey said our secondary is decent. I would say outside of Denzel, who would you give a second contract to? Who's earned a second contract?
They're not trash.
I
Grant
wouldn't give any of them. Maybe Grant. I'll give you Grant, but everybody else
For the right amount of money.
for the right amount of money.
Greg's good enough to get a second contract. Like he's not a bad cornerback.
No, he's not bad, but he's just too.
He has trouble tackling, but he was sticky in coverage today. DeAndre Hopkins just got him on that out route, and just coverage was good. He just didn't break up the pass. Greg didn't have a lot of mistakes today other than that one play. Now, granted, he gave up a big play, but coverage was good throughout that. Our slot corner position is not great. Cam Mitchell's bad. And Miles Harden, he made a couple bonehead mistakes. He's a young player, though. He had some good plays here and there. That needs to be solidified. And, free safety hasn't been as much of a glaring issue as I thought it would be. But I don't think it's that big of an issue. I think there are bigger issues, particularly on offense, to hit first. I don't mind our secondary.
Well,
I'm gonna break down the film in that secondary this week.
Well,
they're
here.
even the PA, they're who's the play-by-play guy today, or the analyst, he was going off on them. They didn't know how to properly funnel guys to the safety help. Gave up a touchdown.
They're bad.
They're just bad. They're bad in man consistently. They get beat. I mean, Greg Newsom gave up 2 big plays today. I don't see the consistency. I don't see anybody outside of. I mean, I don't see. Go ahead, Jersey.
Well, and here the other thing is that they're just constantly on the field. You know what I mean? So we could still win games with these guys with our tackles and our defensive ends and linebackers, especially if Cormo was still out there. But I don't give a shit who you got when they're on the field nonstop. You're cooked. So would I love to get a player in there to shore it up? Yeah, but you got to change out front office.
If you score 20 points on the Browns, you are going to beat them.
Yeah, I hear it. Shit, Reese, 17 points, 15 points. I mean,
it's just
whoever makes their field goals.
Yeah, I mean, your special teams. Another special teams issue again today.
Mike, what do you think of special teams today, Mike? They did not look good at all.
No, they didn't. I think Bubba Ventrone, I thought he should be gone. He should have been gone after last year, if I'm being honest. I'm not a big Bubba Ventrone guy anymore. I'm fine with letting him go right now if they wanted to. But issues in blocking, issues in coverage scheme, like let that big return happen, let a block punt happen. Like that was all bad.
Shout out to Matthew. Thanks for tuning in. He said, organizationally, we are a effing dumpster fire. We need to get these analytic guys out of here. Podesta, his ass needs to go back to baseball.
Hallelujah, dude. You hit the nail right on the head.
Jeffrey said Martin Emerson, Greg Newsom, and Grant Delpit. I would bring all three of them back in a heartbeat. What corner doesn't give up two big plays in a game, though? All of them do, but he doesn't consistently, though, Jeffrey. And I'll go back and pull up all the tape from all the games if I had enough time. He does it. Greg, am I wrong, Gerg? Does Greg get beat a lot throughout the season, and they always target him more than anybody? I mean, he has some nice plays here. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I think he's a decent corner, but I just don't see how people have hyped him up, though. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're the Cleveland Browns, yeah, Grant Delpit, you might as well bring him back because that's the best you're going to get. But is Grant Delpit a starting safety? Like, is he starter on a actual playoff winning team? No,
I think he can be.
I don't
Yeah,
think
he
so.
can be, Chris. What the hell are you talking about? Of course he is.
Okay, Mike. And just okay. We're not going to go there. Listen, they have so many holes on their roster, guys. I understand, Mike. You are such a avid Browns fan that you believe and you wholeheartedly are so optimistic that they're so much closer than what they really are. But they are not even close.
I would disagree, bro.
They're not even close. They're probably, I mean, if they're me, if I'm the Browns, I'm trading Denzel Ward. I mean, you got to get what you can out of him right now, or you're never going to get more for him than you are this year. Do it now.
Right. That fixes our secondary issues for sure.
But you're not going anywhere this year. You're not going anywhere next year. You have to rebuild now, and Denzel Ward isn't your future because he's, to be honest with you, again, one concussion away from probably not playing football again. It's just why are you keeping him to just stink? I mean, I just don't understand why we have to try to have so much faith and hope and look at this team and be like, oh, we're so close or we're close. Guys, the offense is abysmal. The defense shows flashes. But, I mean, if you score 20 points on this team, you are winning the game, and it's not even close. And that is not a recipe or even a thought of, oh, we're close. We're not. The Browns aren't even close. They are years away. They're years away. And to throw a quarterback out against the Green Bay Packers, other than Joe Flacco, would be the worst decision they make, because it doesn't matter who they throw out there. Of the three, it ain't going to look good against the Green Bay Packers. It's just going to look like failure. So if you throw out Dylan Gabriel, guess what's going to happen? Guess what's going to happen? He's going to look terrible. And then now the Shedeur Sanders fans are going to come in and saying, oh, Dylan Gabriel sucks. Dylan Gabriel sucks. No, Dylan Gabriel doesn't suck. The Cleveland Browns suck. Okay? And if you put Shedeur Sanders in, guess what? He's not going to look good. You know why he's not going to look good? Because the Cleveland Browns suck. No, Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders, they're not the savior at quarterback. Neither one of them. It's not that I don't like Shedeur Sanders. It's not that I don't like Dylan Gabriel. I'm just telling you, it doesn't matter who you put in that position. It ain't going to look good. So why do it to yourself? Because we're Browns fans. The Browns fans are the same fans that pretty much made them get rid of Baker Mayfield. And now every single one of them should probably regret that, right? But it's the fans that wanted to get rid of him in the first place. That's all I heard. Baker Mayfield sucks. Baker Mayfield sucks. And now he's balling in Tampa, and everyone's like, we probably shouldn't have got rid of Baker Mayfield. Well, you guys are the same fans that wanted to kill Andrew Berry and Stefanski for having him out there. It's misery. I just every week I just get tired of hearing, well, we're not that far away. We still have good players. Well, of course, every NFL team has good players. You don't have very many. And maybe it isn't Stefanski's fault. Maybe he doesn't have the talent. Maybe it is all the first round picks they got rid of. But you need talent to win. They don't have any of that either. And I get it. The rookies do look good, but they're rookies.
Yeah. Jeffrey said the Ravens only won this game because block punt, 2 turnovers by Flacco. The defense got gas. I don't know what you guys have seen out there. But Jeffrey, I would say those are all 3 pretty glaring issues that I don't know how you expect them to win. You can't just chalk it up and say, well, because of these things, that's why we lost. We're okay. That sounds like last week I heard some of the apologists on, not saying you, Jeff, but certain people on YouTube saying, well, it was only because of missed field goals. I'm just sorry. There's no successful football team. I can go to high school on up, and I know one of the high schools here in Ohio, they've been dominant for a long time. They don't act like that. They don't treat problems like, they don't just say, hey, we lost because of these things. It's no, we lost because we weren't good enough. We weren't, we're not, when you have constant special teams errors, 2 block punts, this week it was block punts and couldn't get Wester on that 1 punt return. And and last week it was the field goals. I mean, what does that say then?
So Jeffrey,
it can't just be, it's just, this is what it is every week and that's okay. No, there's a problem there. When you have the same results over and over, you're losing game. You're constantly shooting yourself in the foot. And go look at those 2 turnovers by Flacco. They're horrific throws, especially the first one. I mean, it was terrible. And then he should have had the other one. Humphrey should have caught the other one. The block punt should never happen. You should never give up a block punt. Your defense is getting gassed. Yeah, that's a problem. And the more those guys are out there, the more they play. Like Coach Aguirre says, world-class trainer on the show, the more these guys play, they're higher risk of injury. It's not complimentary football. That's a problem internally.
They won by 4 possessions.
It was 41 to 17, 41 to 10 before the garbage time touchdown.
Yeah. And you're over that. I mean, I appreciate that, Jeff. Maybe you and Mike should exchange numbers and talk about, how great the Cleveland Browns are going to be. But what you basically just said in the comments was, if the Ravens didn't show up, the Browns would have won. They turned the ball over. Well, that's football. The Ravens were supposed to come and turn the ball over. The Ravens were supposed to, on special teams, block punts. So essentially, they beat you in offense, they beat you in defense, and they beat you in special teams. And you're over here, the Browns or the Ravens only won this game because they beat you in offense, they beat you in defense, and then they beat you in special teams. Well, yeah, that's usually a recipe for a loss.
He said we were in the game until the block punt and then the 2 turnovers where we only were down 2 scores. That's not terrible. But Jeffrey, I would say though, brother, that
game.
Why did you give up the block punt? Again, we've had these special team errors. That's my whole thing. It can't just happen. It's happened. Special teams unit has been horrible. And what about the multiple possessions where it was 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out? Well, when at some point is it just, hey, it's on the coach? They're just not that good. Like they're not that good. And whatever they're doing during the week in practice, they're terrible. It goes back to the culture. They're horrible. What'd you say earlier, Gergs? The definition is insanity. Insanity is doing the same thing. And we keep saying the same results over and over and over again. I'm just telling you, no successful football organization, no team, no school in high school, college, and I know a lot of them, they don't operate like that. That's a bad mindset to just chalk it up to a couple. No, those bad play. That bad plays on you. Like, you have to fix that. That can't happen ever again. You should never have a block punt happen ever again. Let me tell you this. If that happened at Ohio State with a block punt, those guys be sitting there watching. They would be working on punt coverage or punt blocking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of that week. They make that, and that's never going to happen again. Like, we lose a lot of times because we're not that good. We don't take advantage of the moment. We don't go. Well, we had how many was it against the Bengals this week, against the Ravens early in the game? How many times did our offense have a possession to go down and put points on the board and take control of the game? And we don't do it. That's a problem. That means we're not that good. Something we're doing is not working. We're just not that good.
The other thing is, if you're the Cleveland Browns and you're down 2 scores, you've lost the game. That offense, they can't afford to go down by 1 score. But if they go down 2 scores, it's over with. Because that offense is so benign, it's just terrible. So, I understand what he's saying. It's you're only down 2 scores. Typically in any game in sports, you're still in the game. But with this offense, you're done.
Well, and he said, I'm not disagreeing that the offense was terrible. Defense was good. They kept us in the Bengals game. They kept us in this game as long as they could. We were just an offense away. And I agree that the defense kept us in it, Jeffrey. I totally agree with that. I think today they did a good job in the first half. They made Lamar very uncomfortable. He was missing some throws he usually makes. They kind of got him off balance. I thought last week they kept us in it, but I just think the complementary football. You remember football? It's 3 facets: special teams, offense, and defense. And I think the longer that defense has to keep going up there getting gas like that, that's why the secondary is not the biggest problem on this team right now. But I don't think it's still as good. I said this before the season. I think it was as good. Even watch them on tape in the preseason, they didn't look that good. Just the communication doesn't look good. Fundamentally look off. They're just not. I don't think the secondary is where they need to be yet. But the secondary, though, I think the longer you have them out there, and they have to keep going out there constantly, and there's no sustained drives by the offense, eventually they're going to get gassed, but guys are going to start getting beat, and guys that really aren't great in man coverage are going to start getting burned like we saw today. We're putting ourselves in those situations, and that's my issue. And that's why I say it goes back to what's going on internally, with the offense. Why is the offense this bad? Why is this offense only scored more than 20 points twice in a year? Yeah, and why are we on a 9-game losing streak in our last 9 games? Why, how come none of our running backs have rushed over for 100 yards since 2023 in a game? That's a problem. But it all goes together. Like, the Gergs, I would say if we're just an offense away, that means we are in a rebuild. That's the whole unit.
That's how you score points.
Yeah, we
don't forget we don't have an identity offensively.
No.
Oh, I agree. Again, I honestly, Tyler Wallace was out there just,
and that's my point. It's not. You had an old DeAndre Hopkins who's old. Get open and let down at the goal line. The 3rd and long, he let the guy come back to the ball and convert the first down. That's on Greg. Both those plays are on Greg. That cannot happen. It's just the secondary. They don't know how to funnel guys to safety help. They don't know. They're just constantly beat. Give up. It's like they're lost sometimes. The guys, anytime we're down the red zone, Somebody's always running open to the corner because our guy can't. We're not communicating properly, which I broke down on film in the preseason. You know, I mean, it's just they're just not that good. Like I just because like they're not good. I'm sorry because we don't have Jameis to air the ball out anymore and throw it 60 times again. I don't even like Jameis throwing the ball 60 times though because I like Flacco. He's prone to throw some picks at some point. You know what I mean? Like it's just we don't have an identity. Yeah, I mean we just like. And what we used to do well, we just fired that staff and went completely away from it, and they've never recovered since.
Just because our defense is the best unit we have doesn't mean that they're good. That's all I have.
And your defense shouldn't be that. Your defense shouldn't have that much pressure on it each week to keep you in a game. Like at some point, you got to score some points.
Exactly. I agree with that, but
that's not sustainable.
I think what Jeff is honing in on is, yes, the defense is the best unit the Browns have, but that's not saying much.
No, Jeff, you make a point right here, though. But at least the offense was moving the ball down the field with James. And what was one thing I saw there, though, Jeff, when that happened? Kevin wasn't the play caller. So I don't know. Could that mean something? Could that be anything? I don't know.
I don't think there's any way that he gives it up again.
It's being I mean, it was reported as being discussed. He said it's between us and the Packers for the best defense in the NFL this year.
You are smoking serious crack. Wow.
I mean, I think our defense can be good. What do you think, Mike? Do you think they're the top 2 defense in the NFL? I mean, I think they can be really good. I like our front 7 a lot.
I mean, we're 2 weeks in. I mean, I think we're rated top 10. I think our defense is easily top 10.
I can see top 10. Do you think they're top 2 with the Packers?
I don't know if I'm there yet. I'd probably say 3rd or 4th is like not like crazy. Yeah, no, I think our defense is one of the better units in the entire NFL.
Jersey?
I wouldn't say that yet. I mean, how they gave up 41 points today. So, I mean, I know they're on the field a lot, but still 41 points. So I wouldn't. Here. I mean, they show it. They showed that they could be, but I wouldn't say that yet. Not with.
Well, how about the defense that was opposite of us today? I mean,
that I was saying, yeah,
defense. I guess they had like a team meeting after that Buffalo loss, and they responded today. I mean, Roquan Smith had that hell with that Marlon Humphrey looked good. And who's the safety? Kyle Hamilton. He was wrecking. I mean, that's a pretty damn good defense. They had our guys looking like seeing ghosts out there.
I mean, I'm not particularly high on a defense that the secondary just gets picked apart by Lamar Jackson arm.
Well, I don't know. But I disagree on that. Lamar's one of the better passers in the NFL now.
Wow.
I think you're still thinking it's 2019. He's improved a lot.
He has improved.
He looks pretty damn good. I think he's fine.
I don't know if he was.
But again, I don't think it's. I wouldn't put it like. I would just say, I'd just say your personnel is just not as good consistently. He said the Ravens defense is good, but they're not better than our defense. I don't know.
We'll find
I mean,
out.
they don't have Myles Garrett. I get that. But at all 3 levels, though, Gergs, I think they might be more complete than we are.
I'm at a loss of words. I honestly can't believe that was said. I give it to Browns fans, man. They are some of the wackiest, but this might be one of the wackiest comments I've ever seen. The Browns defense is not a top 2 defense in the NFL. I can't even believe that's real.
Here. There's only been 2 games played too. You can't really say who is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Who
that's my old thing. I want to see more sample size. I think they can be really good. I like what I've seen from them at times, but I think we need to see more sample size. Before we rank any of these teams as good defense.
That's what I'm saying.
We
Before
think
you
the
before you
Packers
rank
are good,
anybody,
but the Packers
Here.
could lay an egg here in a couple weeks. I mean, we don't. You know what I mean? It's
They're any team with a suspect offensive line the Browns are going to look good against. Okay, because their defensive line is good. If any quarterback has any amount of time, they are going to eat the Browns up. It just is what it is. The Bengals struggled because there was that defensive line they won the line of scrimmage. You win the line of scrimmage, obviously good things happen. But they're not going to play the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line every week, right? Like, I mean, I don't know who all was watching the Minnesota Falcons game, but the Falcons just ate alive Minnesota because they just dominated Minnesota's offensive line. Minnesota's defense did plenty good enough to win that game. But the Falcons just dominated the the line of scrimmage. The difference though is the Browns can dominate the line of scrimmage and still lose. And that's what's really hard to do. Is win the line of scrimmage and
like
lose.
he said right here. Do you guys don't understand? We held Derrick Henry to 23 yards. Derrick Henry had 7 yards in the first half.
Oh my God, they didn't need Derrick Henry.
No,
just because you hold a good player, they scored 41 points. So great job taking away Derrick Henry, but you got just thrashed by Lamar Jackson and freaking 100-year-old DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, for us to look at a game where you essentially lost by 3 possessions, if you want to calculate 8, or 4 possessions, 3 to 4 possession game, you lost by, and you want to just hang your hat on we held Derrick Henry to 23 yards. Who gives a crap?
he said you act like Lamar Jackson was tearing us up, but he wasn't until either he scored mainly off turnovers in the red zone.
I don't really care how it's cut, how you cut it. We lost it.
Exactly.
They put 41 points on us. You know what I mean? And any running back can be taken out if that's what the game plan is. I mean,
exactly. So it's Lamar Jackson's fault and the Ravens' offense's fault and Derrick Henry's fault that they took over possessions in the red zone.
41 points.
The defense can still come out there and hold them to field goals, right?
They did a couple times.
Yeah, a couple.
But I mean, they still converted a couple times. I mean, that's their job is to score points. I mean, what do I?
Exactly.
Do you guys know they have special periods in practice for red zone defense and offense? Like it's part of it don't matter. I just don't. Listen, I don't know. It's like Coach JB says, mediocrity is the new excellence. It's not the defense's fault. It's the offensive line. The QB need to play one of them rookies, keep the offense off the field, on the field, score points, and we will have number defense in the league.
I don't know if we're going to have the number 1 defense in the league with a secondary that just gets chopped up like that. So
here you guys are saying defense wins championships, but not when the offense doesn't score.
Okay, we're over here. We're over here talking about how the Cleveland Browns may not win a game this year, and then in the same breath we're saying that they're going to have a top 2 defense. What in the world is wrong with us? What is wrong with Cleveland? Come on, take a look in the mirror. I mean,
That's how bad it is here, though. Like,
you honestly believe that the Cleveland Browns are going to have a number one defense this year?
He said the Ravens were on a half-yard line and didn't score. If you look right now, I bet you the Browns has the number one ranked defense through 2 games.
well, that makes me feel better that they only put 41 up versus 48.
What that is? Please look that up, because I guarantee you.
Well, there's still games going on. I mean,
we don't even need to. It doesn't even matter. That is the silliest thing. I mean, just because you made a goal line stop doesn't mean you're the number one ranked defense. And compared to what? Like number one ranked rushing defense, number one ranked passing defense, number one ranked. It's definitely not scoring defense. So what are we talking about? Overall defense? Not going to be that either.
I mean, based off of week 1, they were number 2 behind the Broncos. But I mean, again, why are we talking about total defense that went through 2 games?
I don't know.
I
mean, one thing
it's not going to matter.
We are certain about is we have the worst offense.
Exactly. It's not going to matter. Sitting there talking again. I'm not saying this. I'm not referring to you, Jeffrey, but I see people on the internet that again, the people on YouTube, especially the apologists, that well, this is good and this is good. We're not that far. We got this. What's like, dude, your defense doesn't mean shit if you don't have a good offense, because they're going to get gassed out like they have for the last X amount of games now, going back to last season. It don't matter.
All that matters is fucking wins.
Fix the problems. Again, this sounds like J.W. Johnson earlier. We're not the issue. You know, we're gonna hoist the trophy one day.
People that discount our belief and our passion for winning are sorely mistaken. And if you want to come down here and get to know us and have a real conversation to see our passion, I welcome that. We care about this team. We care about our fan base. We care about this city. Everything we try to do here is to win every day. Last year was candidly a disaster, and it pissed us off. It pissed our players off. It pissed the coaching staff off. I know how much it pissed our fans off. I apologize the language, but that's just true, right?
Yep.
And our fans care about this club like it's their own, and we want them to. But we're doing everything we can to win. We're going to continue to do everything we can to win. And listen, sometimes you got to break a few eggs to make a good omelet. And we're going to continue to do that. We're going to take big swings, and whether that's signing players or drafting guys, whatever that takes, we're going to do it. And by God, one of these days we're going to be hosting Lombardi, and I can't friggin' wait. So thank you to our fans. Keep supporting us. Last year was last year. We're moving on to 2025.
Yeah, we're moving on to 2025, and it's the same thing.
Yep. Anyways, yeah, forgot that button.
We're moving on.
We have 9 straight games. We have placeholders position in the field. Coach. Oh man. Anyways, it's been bad in Cleveland for a long time on the offensive line. It's heartbreaking watching our favorite team get whipped like a baby. Please give us hope, Kevin. We want to win. Yeah, we all want to win for sure. And the offensive line, you make a great point, Mr. Z. Arnold, that you know that offensive line. I think that offensive line's in a rebuild right now. They're really old, and they there's a lot of bad habits that have carried over from last year. Because really, last year they really had no accountability in that room, because the guy they brought in to replace Bill Callahan wasn't even coaching him by the end of the year. It was Mike Vrabel, who's a defensive guy. So not a whole lot of stability in that room. You know, and you just watch their play. And I used to play offensive lines, and I just watched a lot of their habits and just their errors a lot of times. And it's just basics, that's just stuff they're they're in a rebuild in the offensive line. They're old. You need to get some of those younger guys out there. At one point this season, I think Luke Whipper's got to get out there. I thought he played really well in the preseason, and I think he'll actually be able to get out there quick enough and secure a screen on the perimeter, screen block. Go ahead. Was somebody gonna say something?
Oh, I was disagreeing.
Oh, yeah, okay. Mike Humble said, Mike, love you, my sexy brother. Keep your chin up. You got a heart of gold. Don't let him tell you you don't. God sent you.
Appreciate you, Humble.
Param John says, what a shame. Jimmy just needs to give it up and sell the team.
Score predictions for next week. Let's go there.
Yeah, we'll end with that. That's where we always end. Score predictions. Go ahead, Mike. You go. I like hearing yours.
I'm there, so I'm gonna hope for a win. I'm gonna be an optimist going to that game. So I'm gonna say
you're hoping you justify all the money you're gonna spend on it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say Browns. I'm not gonna say we score over 20 points. So I'm gonna say Browns 20, and they at least play ball possession enough to keep the Packers off the field enough. Browns 20, Packers 17.
Romero Grady says you have to be a goofy. They will have a top defense. If you have a guy like Shador in practice, the defense has to be disciplined because Shador will thrash them. If they're not, the defense knows. Hey, Mike, what was reported this week? Is Shador actually on the scout team?
No. Dylan Gabriel is doing scout team.
No, Bailey Zappi is.
Oh, Zappi. I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah, and I know people say, well, Bailey Zappi he was good for Joe Burrow scouting, which okay, yeah, but it sounds like Mike, he's not really involved in practice, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I still think we're gonna see Shador at some point during the season, but he's not doing scout.
He's not even throwing. He's not even on the scout team right now. We heard back in the spring he was throwing equipment staff guys.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's on Shador, but he's not going against this defense a whole lot. How many times did he go against the first team? Mike, how many times was he on the first team offense all training camp?
Let's see. He got probably a total of like 10 reps, maybe. So
not a whole lot.
No.
Compared to the other guy. And I'm not saying I agree with that either, but he's not thrashing them. Because he's not really going against them a whole lot ever. Dan says Green Bay 34-10. Param John says 40-6. Gosh darn. What was your score, Mike?
Browns 20, Packers 17. Again, I'm going, so I'm hoping for I've got to be
spending. That's all. Not just playing, but go ahead, Chris.
Well, they're the number 1 and number 2 defense in the NFL, so I'm going to go 6-3. Just kidding. 27-12. Packers.
All right. Jersey?
31-13 Packers.
All right. I'm going to say we keep scoring 16 or 7. I'm going to say 35-17. Packers. And I'll say the 17, the extra touchdown at the end is like today, garbage time. So really 35-10. 31-10 Packers, says Humble. Chantel says, why are they keeping him then? That's a great mystery, Chantel. I don't know why. I think that's a lot of people are wondering what's the plan with Shador. And have you heard anything on that, Mike? What the plan is with him?
I mean, I think it's kind of just going back to you talked about it earlier on the show. Just Jimmy Haslam expects at some point for both of these young guys to play at some point in the season. I think we're going to see both of them in some capacity. So I think that's, I mean, from his mouth to God's ears, you know what I mean? Like, that's the owner saying it. It's going to happen.
Matthew just said a lot to little Green Bay. Dan said Jeffrey's score prediction is 56-0 Browns. Jeffrey, you there, brother? What is your score prediction, Jeffrey? We love your dialogue, Jeffrey. We appreciate you guys for tuning in, taking time of your night to tune in. Honestly, we really appreciate it. It means a lot. Without you guys, we wouldn't be keep going doing this. So thank you so much. Love all you guys. Chantel says 38-10 Packers.
While we're waiting on Jeffrey's score prediction, the Lions are back, baby.
Well, Gerg, somebody asked earlier, how about the Lions today? What's your thoughts on what's your weekly Lions report? What's that looking like?
It was nice to see they came out and they just put an absolute beat down on Ben Johnson in great Detroit fashion. In the in the third quarter, we were yelling "F you, Ben Johnson," and the chant broke out, and it was pretty hilarious. But yeah, we looked good.
How did the great Caleb Williams look?
Well, they scored a pretty much garbage time touchdown too. So essentially it should have been realistically 52-14. So if that tells you anything, no, honestly, he threw a couple picks. We just, it looked like we came out and, we answered, because last week when we didn't look very good against Green Bay. So it was nice to come out, and just fire away. And it was, I mean, our offense looked pretty unstoppable again. So it was nice to see, but yeah, we pretty much shut down the Bears offense. Roma Dunze had a huge game, but other than outside of him, there really was nothing really going for the Bears.
Is it fair to say Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, Drake May, Bo Nix, and J.J. McCarthy are all better than him in that draft?
I mean,
so far.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do I think Caleb Williams could be good? Yes, I just think that he needs to stop trying to be something he's not. I think he just needs to worry about playing quarterback. And I think Ben Johnson will get it out of him. I think he has all the talent in the world. I think he holds on to the ball too long. And he again does the extra crap that I just don't understand or think that a quarterback should be doing. But I think he's more talented than most of those that you just named. But
and I agree with that.
Until he gets out of his own way, yeah, I mean, I definitely think that. And talent-wise, I think Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in that draft anyways. But I'm talking about the Michael Penixes and the J.J. McCarthys. I think that there's trajectory and talent-wise, he's better than them. But, you don't need the other crap that goes along with it. I mean, and that's just my opinion. So if you ask me, I think it's going to be a couple more years. But right now, I'd rather have J.J. McCarthy, that's for sure. And Penix don't look too bad.
Yeah, JJ I thought looked better head-to-head last week. JJ didn't look as good tonight. You looked sluggish tonight. 2 picks, didn't play well.
They couldn't protect him.
No, that offensive line's not that good. And I don't think his offensive line, his first year was good in Chicago. But I think with him, like you said, it's a lot of the other stuff, and I just think you saw it head-to-head last week in that second half. And I just think one guy is a little different than the other guy in some areas when it comes to certain intangibles, and I think that might be the separator.
It's here. The way I view it is obviously you're in the NFL, you have skill, right? It's the other stuff, like you said. It's the mental makeup. It's the, it's the other stuff. It's the development. You know what I mean? Are you getting developed by your coaching and all this other things that, again, we talk about the Cleveland Browns. I just don't see it, but again, I think Ben Johnson's there. I think Ben Johnson's going to get a lot out of Caleb Williams. I just think it's going to take some time.
All right. Well, that's the weekly Lions report from Gergs for all Lions fans tuning in and watching. I've seen a couple of Lions fans around locally too. So even at the game Friday night, Gergs, somebody sat in front of us with a bunch of Lions gear on, decked out.
Must be my cousin.
Might be.
I'm just kidding.
But Mike, your Jersey, Gert, you guys will tell you to like, subscribe, and share.
Folks, thank you so much for joining us this evening. If you enjoyed the show and would like to tune in again, and you're on YouTube, please like, subscribe, share this content, ding that notification bell if you're on YouTube so you can get notified when we are live. We have a bunch of other content and shows on the channel, so stay tuned for those. But thank you again so much for joining, folks.
Dad, Humble said, Joe, can you ask Jersey's raw, honest opinion on the Bengals making the Super Bowl before us?
No, I don't think they will. I think so. If there's one organization that's worse than us, it's those bastards.
But they even still did 3 years ago.
No, they didn't win. They won't win one.
No, but he's saying making a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I thought he said making one.
He's saying making it, which they already did.
Oh, yeah.
Well, making it. But you have Burrow. I mean, that's a big thing for them, but I still don't think they'll ever get it done. I just think they're that terrible of an organization.
Well, Burrow got hurt today, too. He didn't come back in on a toe injury, so I don't know. Let's see what his status is week to week.
My fantasy team is ruined.
He said, can you also, or just a division. No, let's start with a division.
They'll certainly win a division. Absolutely. I just don't think the Bengals will ever win a Super Bowl before the Browns. Watch them win this. Watch them win. But I don't think they. That's just how the Browns are. That'd be my luck. But no, I don't think so. They're just absolutely. I mean, they locked the fucking vending machines up years ago on the players. They're selling TVs out of the stadium. I mean, just.
I don't know. I mean, they already made it, though. We haven't even been close to make it.
I don't really give a shit. I don't care. I don't know. They will not win one before Cleveland.
I'm heading to Berea with my TI-83 calculator to crack some eggs and see how he can avoid our 10th straight loss, and the 11th after that as well, and the 12th after that as well. Damn, I'm gonna need a lot of eggs to crack. Or I'm gonna need a lot of eggs to crack.
Let me know where you're going, Dan. Just pick me up.
Yeah, I like to be in on that too. Mike, you coming?
Sure, why not?
Gergs, well, you can come. We'll bring the whole crew there, the real media. We're going out to the Berea. We're gonna take that offer and see what's good. What's crack-a-lagging.
Yeah.
Eggs. We talk about cracking eggs all week.
I just love that. I mean, that was funny. We got to crack a few, as if they hadn't been cracking eggs since 1999.
Right.
Jesus, that was good. That was good. That made me laugh.
Yeah.
So nonchalant too,
Yeah. Come on.
Here, sometimes you got to crack a few eggs and make an omelet.
Yeah.
Last year. We're on to 2025. Bigger and better things are happening in 2025.
That omelet is burnt to a crisp.
Yes.
It's been left on the griddle for too long.
Yeah.
You need to make another one again. We're on
They're definitely
we're on like
cooks.
the 110th omelet.
Yeah. I mean, they're terrible cooks.
the kitchen's on fire at some point. I mean, oh boy. But
Here, to answer, I'll answer Humble Man's question about the Bengals and the Browns. I think that we're gonna all be extremely old before we see either.
that's a good point.
And maybe even dead.
You said how you fellas like your ex. Yeah, maybe we should let him know ahead of time.
Yeah.
You know, we'll have to put that order in. But anyways, we appreciate you guys for tuning in tonight. Anybody got anything else we got here? Any last words? George, I
Appreciate
know
you guys.
last week you were before I cut it out, you threw in a betting. What'd you say? Take the Vikings in the second half, and they did come back.
Yep. As I left, I said take the Vikings to come back. I like the Texans to beat the Bucks tomorrow.
Oh, you just fired up, Dan. No, there goes a debate in our group chat. But
All right.
no, make sure you guys like, subscribe, share all that good stuff, and we will see you guys next. Mike, what are you doing tonight? Are you saluting? What are you doing?
Oh, I'm sprinting down the street. I'm just full sprint, and I'm shirtless, and I'm wearing Crocs. That's what I'm doing.
You're in pretty good shape.
I'm right in the middle of the road. I'm playing chicken with a semi.
Dan said he's happy. He said that. Now I know the Bucks will win.
Just like he knew that he was JJ McCarthy sucked, right?
Did he ever say that? I don't know if he ever said that.
Oh, last week during that whole first half, he was acting like JJ McCarthy was the second coming of Johnny Manziel.
He quickly corrected himself and said, "Oh, I spoke too soon." So,
Humble said, "Mike, keep your chin up." Jersey, the man, thank you for everything. He said, "Chris, thank you for all the love, man." Joe Wink, brother. We'll see you guys in the next one. Love all you guys. Like, subscribe, share, and we're out of here.
see ya.
Later.